Hello and welcome to Australia for the Invictus Racing Leagues F1 Equal League Australian Grand Prix. I am Tim, and I am ready to get the action underway. You see qualifying is underway right now, and it's a bit of a wet session out there already, so already things are starting to look interesting here tonight. We have 11 drivers in the field tonight. Right now we're looking at TB 237.91. He is in the Toro Rosso right there. He is currently on his out lap, about to start his flying lap. Gonna see where he lines up on the board in one lap's time. Meanwhile, we also have Luke K down here. Not sure if he's starting his debut or not. I have not yet been able to talk to the drivers today. I just got home and just started the stream. But we're going to keep an eye on him, as I have not seen him in here before. And he goes wide already, just a little bit wide, but he doesn't hit anything. So no harm, no foul. We also have Sam down here, but he is in the pits. Going to take a look at FPL Charlie. He is in the Mercedes right now. Riding on board with him, he is on his flying lap. You can see the rain droplets on the camera there, but obviously not wet enough for intermediates just yet, but I feel like that's going to change very, very quickly. Gonna check back in on TB, so where he lines up for this lap. He is in the final sector of the course right now, about to approach that really tight left-hander going past the pit entrance. And there you see it right now on your screen, that very tight left-hander. Personally, my most hated corner of this entire racetrack, except for maybe turn 5. Across the line, TB sets a 131.247. Luke K sets a 131.247. TB sets a 131.039. So TB, your provisional pole sitter, but with only 2 times on the board, we do not yet have a good baseline of the speeds here today. Yesterday in the Performance League, the pole time was a 122.0. I don't expect the times to get that quick here today, considering the rain and undoubtedly the difficulty of controlling these cars. Looks like Scope Filter has came out onto the course in that Renault. He is starting his flying lap. While you watch Scope Filter, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the point standings, give you proper updates while we race. Scope Filter says a 131.1. That's fast enough for second at the moment. Meanwhile, the Red Bull of Zyman 118, a 132.8. Mdoran 09, 133.158. Ozone Never Miss, a 137.826. 6 of 11 drivers have set a times thus far, with 12 minutes remaining in the session. Still watching Scope Filter, but we're going to take a look now at FPL Charlie, who just set the 3rd fastest time with a 131.223. Gonna take a look and see what tires everyone has fitted. And yes, I am correct. I was going to say I almost am positive each and every driver has fitted the soft tires, and everyone except Ozone Never Miss has done just that. Ozone Never Miss running a 137 on those medium tires. If he decides to fit soft tires and the course stays relatively dry, look for that time to improve at least a little bit. Of course, the soft tires give you much more speed than the mediums, but at a cost of faster tire wear. I finally have the points pulled up here in Scope Filter. Your leader in the points right now, he's about 35 seconds. He is about 35 points ahead of Foxy Red 2000. CPI Alex in 3rd still. Though it doesn't look like Brazil or Belgium has been added. So the point standings are not actually updated, at least not on the page I was looking at, unfortunately. But no harm, no foul, because what matters right now and what matters today is the race. Well, actually, what matters right now is qualifying. But in 15 minutes' time, what will matter is the race. The race here in Australia. Right now, we are still watching FPL Charlie. He's decided to go ahead and set 3 timed laps on those soft tires. Not sure what's going on there, or why he's trying to use up the tires. Because if that's going to be his final time, he's going to have to start on those tires. And starting on tires that have 3 laps versus 1 lap, it's not a huge difference, but you definitely want the fresher tires starting out, as fresh as you possibly can get. Looking at Ozone Never Miss now, he has set 2 laps on those medium tires. Not yet pulling in to fit the softs, but he has set a 132.2, which is a decent time on medium tires. He's keeping pace with the softs. Meanwhile, Zyman 118 on softs has set a 132.8. He's still down there in 7th. And we have Sam, White Fountain, B-Sketch, and CPI Alex, who have yet to make a timed lap. Everyone is in the pits except for FPL Charlie, who you see on your screen right there in that beautiful silver Mercedes. Say what you will about the Mercedes team, and I will agree that their dominance does make it a bit boring in the real F1. But the cars look fantastic when you look at that metallic silver. FPL Charlie pulling into the pits. Meanwhile, White Fountain is starting his outlap right now. I'm trying to figure out exactly what view that was and what would constitute that view existing, but whatever, I cannot control that. Riding on board with White Fountain right now. He's in the Toro Rosso, as you can see, currently on his outlap. We also have Zyman, M. Doran, and TB on their outlaps. No one's starting a flying lap just yet, and still 4 drivers who have yet to set a time. One of them being White Fountain, who you see on your screen right now. He's in the DRS zone, but of course this is still an outlap. This is not a timed lap. His time lap will start next time around, as he very shortly will be entering that tight left-hander and going past the pit entrance. Unless he decides to make a pit, maybe his adjustments aren't quite there. But he will go ahead and go for a timed lap. He bypasses the pits, and he's going down the straightaway and across the line to start this flying lap. White Fountain going to try to set a fast time here. Going to try to set the pole time here, which so far still belongs to TB with a 131.039. Here you see the McLaren of Sam on the inside, trying to get out of the way of everybody. Sam is on his outlap, so he can afford to go just a bit slower. Let some drivers by, get a little bit of breathing room out there on the course. Loving the onboard as White Fountain uses up those curbs in that really fast section of S's. Taking it straight to the limit. Around the final corner and down the front straightaway, he will cross the line. Where will he end up? He is on the pole, a 121.0482 White Fountain. That is a full second quicker than the pole time in the Performance League race yesterday. What an impressive lap from White Fountain. A 121.048, followed by TB in second with a 121.647. A 122.001 goes to Zyman 118. Scope Filter with a 131.1 still in the 4th position. This track has dried up 100% now. No more rain, no more liquid falling from the sky. This track is fast. Just a little over 5 minutes remaining in this session here. 5 minutes remaining with 3 drivers yet to set a time. Will anyone have anything for White Fountain in first, as Scope Filter has set a 121.368. That is fast enough for the second position. Luke K has set the third fastest time with a 121.378. M. Doran 09 in fourth with a 121.638. TB230 a 121.647, excuse me. And CPI Alex, who has now set a time, he has set the 6th fastest time on his first lap out. That is a 121.676. Still just a little over 5 minutes remaining here in this session. Everyone except V-Sketch HD has set a lap. V-Sketch in that Red Bull right now. He's about to go down the front straightaway to start his flying lap. He's decided to fit the medium tires, at least for now. Not sure if he's going to try the reverse strategy or if he's just trying to get a feel for the car. This is the first time he's been out on the course in this session, at least that I've seen. And he's now down into turns 1 and 2. Starting his flying lap, riding on board with him now. This is a short DRS zone here, but definitely going to help him with getting some speed. This corner right here, this right-hander, that's what I was talking about. That is probably, except for that tight left-hander, that is my most hated corner. That corner and the tight left-hander right there at the pit entrance. I believe that was turn 5 right behind us. V-Sketch HD giving it all he's got here. He's rounding the final corner now, but he will go into the pits. Not going to set a time this time around. I'm going to look for him to fit the soft tires here in just a moment and for him to go back out. Currently no one else out on track, so V-Sketch HD, the last driver yet that has to set a time. Everyone else has set a time. There you see it on the left of your screen, and now it looks like Ozone Never Misses pulling out of the pits, going to try to go for another flying lap. Let's see how he does. Ozone Never Miss along with Luke K, a Williams and a Mercedes out on the course. Going to try to set a flying lap for both of them. Going to try to both go for the pole, but that can only belong to one driver. And for the moment, that driver is White Fountain with a 121.048, an absolutely stellar lap. Looks like quite a few drivers now are starting their out lap. Going to try to go for one more flying lap here at the end of this qualifying session. We have almost every driver right now starting their out lap. Another out lap, that is. V-Sketch HD still in the pits, but he has fitted the soft tires now. So we'll see where he ends up at the end of this, but he still has to come out onto the course. He's going to have to go fairly quickly, actually, because the clock is ticking. If that clock runs out before he has crossed the line, he will not get to complete another qualifying lap, as we saw evidence of this weekend at Monza in the qualifying farce that was. But congratulations to Charles Leclerc on the pole and the win. I missed the first hour of the race, unfortunately. My alarm didn't wake me up, but what I did see, it was very entertaining. A good race indeed. At least more or less. And now V-Sketch HD is starting his outlap. We're going to finish Ozone Never Misses flying lap before we check in on V-Sketch. Ozone Never Miss in Sector 3, approaching that tight left-hander that goes by the pit entrance. We're going to see just what happens here. Around the final corner now, that final right-hander. Down the straightaway and across the line. He will end up in the 4th position, a 121.534 for Ozone Never Miss. Now going to take a look at V-Sketch HD, who it appears someone was off the track though there for a minute. It is Luke K7 who has set the 2nd fastest time of this session, 121.2, and now he's off the track. Looking at V-Sketch HD now. Sam has now set the fastest time of this session with a 120.928. Samu Papito, 120.928, followed by M-Dorn09 with a 120.969. V-Sketch HD still having to complete his first and only flying lap of this session. V-Sketch HD across the line. Where will he end up? He will not. Unless that was considered his outlap. We will continue to watch V-Sketch HD as the clock is ticking. Just 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining in this session. Shortly, we will be able to start the Australian Grand Prix. Qualifying is officially over. V-Sketch HD, he must have had some corner cutting. I will be very transparent here. I've had to temporarily look away from the screen during the end of that qualifying session. So, there you have it. Your official starting lineup for the Australian Grand Prix is Sam, who set a stellar lap of a 120.928 to get the pole position. M-Dorn09 in second with a 120.969. Scope Filter, your points leader, in third with a 120.977. White Fountain in fourth with a 121.0. FPL Charlie in fifth with a 121.061, a 121.109 belongs to TB. Luke K in seventh with a 121.212. Zyman 118, 121.265. CPI Alex a 121 as well. CPI Alex was a 121.452, a 121.534 goes to Ozone Never Miss. Thankfully for stream delays, I was able to quickly look at the stream, get you the final times there. So there you have it, looking down the F1 paddock. Here very shortly, we will start this race. So turning to the YouTube chat now. You've seen qualifying. You've seen the starting lineup. What are your predictions going into this race? What are your early predictions? Who's going to be the top three? Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to win? I want to hear from you. I want some interaction from you guys. Session now starting in just over 20 seconds, 21 to be exact. Then we will be able to start our formation lap, and then the Australian Grand Prix will officially be underway after that. Trying to get my drinks of water in very early. Because if yesterday's Performance League race is anything to base off of, this is going to be a very, very exciting race. One more time, updating you on the starting lineup. We have Sam in first in that McLaren, M. Doran in the Ferrari in second, the Renault of Scopefielder in third, White Fountain and the Toro Rosso in fourth, the Mercedes of FPL Charlie in fifth, another Toro Rosso of TB in the sixth position, Luke K in seventh in the Williams, a Red Bull of Zyman 118 in eighth, the Racing Point Machine of CPI Alex in ninth, 10th is Ozone Never Miss, and V-Sketch HD rounding it out in the 11th position. Cars weaving back and forth, trying to get as much heat in those tires as they possibly can. Trying to make sure that they're going to grip going into turn one. Sam throwing shades of Fernando Alonso in that McLaren, running the number 14. Going under the Rolex banners, shortly approaching the front straightaway, so these cars can line up on the grid. Just have to bypass the pits. Time for one last drink of water. There you see the cars lined up on your screen on the grid, and you hear those itchy pedal feet, you hear the engines revving, and you see the red lights in the air. The red lights are out, green flag is out, and away we go for the Invictus Racing Leagues F1 Equal League Australian Grand Prix. Sam the Papto still out in the lead, at least right now. He's holding on to his pole position now. M. Doran in second, Scopefielder in third. Looked like White Fountain, he had a little bit of an issue there at the start. He went from about, I don't know, probably 4th or 5th down to 11th. Meanwhile, V-Sketch HD is fighting, he was fighting with Luke K, but now he is off the track, as is CPI Alex in the Racing Point Machine. So already a little bit of carnage here at the Australian Grand Prix, just in the first corner. There's CPI Alex and White Fountain. Going back up to the lead now. You have Sam in the McLaren, being chased by the Ferrari of M. Doran and the Renault of Scopefielder. Meanwhile, FPL Charlie and TB are kind of going at it. FPL Charlie really close to that Toro Rosso, but not trying to make a move just yet. Now through those really fast S's in that part of the course. Riding on board now with FPL Charlie. I want to get the best view of this battle as possible. There you see it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all top 5 cars in a line. Zyman 118 and 6 just behind this line as well. There you see it. So it's actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Sam has set the fastest lap of the session so far, a 1:30.308 on the first lap. Now there is a yellow flag in Sector 3, not sure what happened there. And meanwhile, the top 4 are pulling away from 5th and 6th as Zyman 118 is challenging for the 5th position against FPL Charlie. FPL Charlie on the defensive, and he's holding the position fairly well. He's now starting to gain a little bit and pull away from Zyman 118. Meanwhile, TB is getting really close to the back bumper of Scope Fielder, but maintaining track position. Everyone maintaining track position here as Sam is starting to pull away. It is 0.6 seconds separating him and the Ferrari of M. Doran there in the second position. Scope Fielder chasing those two cars and being chased by TB as well. Looks like FPL Charlie starting to get a little close to that Toro Rosso. He's about half a second back, 0.4 seconds back. And everyone running fast laps here. FPL Charlie wins out. V-Sketch HD actually wins out with a 125.829. V-Sketch HD running in the 9th position right now. White Fountain now with the fastest lap of the session, a 125.4, I do believe. So everyone across the line that time was running a faster lap. Sam ran a fast lap, then M. Doran ran a faster lap, then Scope Fielder ran a faster lap, then TB ran a faster lap, then FPL Charlie ran a faster lap. It's just crazy. These guys, they are very equal, but that's why we call it the equal performance. Very good talent here in this field today as well. On board now with TB as he is chasing down that Renault of Scope. Meanwhile, CPI Alex has received a 5-second time penalty. Toro Rosso of TB is under an immaculate amount of pressure from FPL Charlie. CPI Alex, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Alex now retiring from this session. Just a bad race for Alex, as now we have FPL Charlie and TB duking it out side by side, wheel going into turn 1. FPL Charlie goes into the grass a little bit, going to lose out on that position. TB will hold the 4th position for now. Lap 4 of 29 here in the Australian Grand Prix. Your top 3 has not changed. It is Sam, M. Doran, and Scope. TB following in 4th, and TB spins, and he is in the wall. TB, he just hit the curb a little bit there, and he spun, and he got in the wall. Watching the replay now on the stream, because there is a delay, he just went a little too wide in that corner, and he got into the grass, caused the wheels to spin, and it just turned him around and into the wall. TB had a really good run going here, and then it just ended. And my heart breaks for TB. That has got to be painful. So a yellow flag in Sector 3 for obvious reasons. As now FPL Charlie has made his way by Scope Fielder. FPL Charlie now in the 3rd position with Scope in 4th. Zyman 118, meanwhile, in the Red Bull, he's going to try to join this battle between FPL Charlie and Scope Fielder. I apologize for that. I was streaming on my personal Twitch the other day, did not realize I had comments to speech turned on YouTube. I'm going to turn that off now. And then back to the action. Apparently, Alex started the race with and I quote, 90% worn tires that were over 1,000 degrees, so impossible to race, had to retire. I have no idea how that even happens, but, alright, but Alex, you know, hopefully next week. Sorry about that, chat. I was sitting down and my microphone got caught on the wheel. So you probably just were met with an ungodly noise. Anyway, Alex, I hate that for you, man. And I wish you better luck next week in the race. Meanwhile, Zyman, he is now under pressure from V-Sketch HD. And the other Red Bull in this field here, riding on board now with V-Sketch HD. He's chasing down the Red Bull of Zyman. All drivers just settling in a line here. No one able to get close enough to make any passes just yet. But V-Sketch HD trying to make a liar out of me. Dives underneath Zyman and then just runs out of room. They make contact and V-Sketch goes around. Just not a good day here for V-Sketch. Was not able to set a qualifying time. And now not even able to make his way into the top 5. Probably heavy wing damage on that car. Probably some suspension damage as well. We'll have to keep an eye on V-Sketch HD through the course of the races. Now it looks like M. Doran is fighting for the lead with Sam and M. Doran trying to go on the outside. There was a little bit of contact, but no harm, no foul. He concedes the position to Sam for now. But he's chasing him back down and chasing him back down hard. He wants that first position really, really bad. And he is not going to give up. Here in just a moment, we will be approaching a DRS zone that may very well help him during get by Sam. Undoubtedly, that's how he was able to gain the ground the last time. Through those really fast S's, and I love that camera angle. It is just so beautiful. Thank you, Codemasters, for giving us that camera angle. And now M. Doran trying to make a move again. There's a lockup from the right front of the Ferrari, but he does a crossover move, trying to get by Sam. They are now side by side and wheel to wheel, going to the tight left-hander. M. Doran has the advantage for now. He's going to be on the inside, taking that right-hander and going down the front straightaway. M. Doran has officially been able to take the lead away from Sam, and now he will lead this lap. It is lap 8 of 29 now. Sam now on the offensive, excuse me, trying to chase down that Ferrari yet again. TB has just joined the chat on YouTube, and he said that he just got too much curb, and he felt like he had the pace to challenge tonight. TB, you had a really good pace tonight, and you had a really good run going. I know it hurts, but better luck next week. I wish you and Alex both better luck next week, and I'm glad that you two are watching the stream. Hope you enjoy it. M. Doran now pulling away from the McLaren of Sam. It's 0.6 seconds is the gap now, and excuse me, I can't talk today. I might as well rip my tongue out and try to buy a new one. But FPL Charlie now actually hit the wall. FPL Charlie, I think he hit the wall in the same spot almost that TB did, and I almost wonder if he made the same mistake. I was about to go back and take a look at FPL Charlie because he was starting to gain on Sam, but then I noticed that he dropped like a rock, and sure enough, he's sitting there in the wall, and he's undoubtedly going to have to pit. Look at the damage on that front wing, especially on the left side. The front wing is almost non-existent on that left side, and he's going into the pits. This will be his pit stop. Meanwhile, White Fountain getting by Zyman as Zyman has decided to make his pit stop now. Where will Zyman 118 rejoin this field as V-Sketch HD has gotten by him? Zyman rejoins in the 6th position, but of course V-Sketch HD is still going to have to pit. M. Doran still in the lead. Sam in 2nd, Scopefielder in 3rd. White Fountain has now moved his way up to the 4th position. And that is after having issues at the start. I didn't see what happened at the start, but I know that he started somewhere around 5th or so. But then he dropped all the way back to about 9th or 10th, and I had no idea what was going on. He's been able to rebound and work his way up to the 4th position now. And he still has his old tires. The tires he started this race on. So the top 5, still have to make a pit stop. Meanwhile, Zyman, Luke, FPL Charlie, and Ozone Never Miss have already made their pit stops. They've already elected to take on to the hard tires. So they're going to try to go 20 laps on hard tires. Very doable here. And now M. Doran has made his pit stop, which allows Sam to inherit the lead again. Followed closely behind by Scopefielder. 1.7 seconds anyway. M. Doran now away from his pit box. He's going to rejoin this race, but where will he rejoin it? M. Doran rejoining in the 4th position. So now we only have 3 drivers who have yet to make a pit stop. That is Sam, Scopefielder, and V-Sketch HD. Running 1, 2, and 3. M. Doran and White Fountain, the most recent drivers to make a pit stop. Sam is pulling away from Scopefielder very much. It's 2.5 seconds now, and it looks like he has went into the pit. Sam is in the pits. That will concede the lead to Scopefielder, at least for the moment. So Scopefielder will lead his first lap of the race. And he has a clear track ahead of him and behind him. His nearest competitor is 18 seconds behind. Save for Sam, who is still in the pits. Seeing now where Sam is going to rejoin this race. Sam rejoining this race in the 3rd position, right behind M. Doran, who is 18.3 seconds behind your leader of Scopefielder. Scopefielder, who almost has a free pit stop playing into his hands here. He might be able to walk away with the win if what he's trying to do is stay out on soft tires and then pit for the mediums later. But that all depends on how long he can make those soft tires last. So it's a 17.7 second gap now up to Scopefielder. M. Doran 09 in 2nd with Sam in 3rd. Zyman 118 in the 4th position. Luke K in 5th. White Fountain in 6th. V-Sketch HD in 7th. FPL Charlie in 8th. And Ozone Never Miss in the 9th position. Sam looks like he's gaining a little bit on that Ferrari. He's going to try to make a move soon if he can get within DRS range. He's in the range now, but I don't think he was able to get it. He was not able to get it that time around, but he is entering another DRS range. As now Scopefielder has decided to pit, and he in fact did pit for the medium tires. So Scopefielder now on the medium tire is going to try to make them work. M. Doran re-inherits the lead, followed by Sam and Zyman 118 in 3rd. 2 laps, 1 lap, and 3 laps on those tires for the top 3. A big lockup from M. Doran 09. But no harm, no foul. He stays on course. Still 0.9 seconds ahead of Sam. Sam trying desperately to chase down M. Doran here. Sam, he had the pole. He had a really good lap in qualifying. Now he's just trying to make sure that he can cap it all off with a win. But to do that, he's going to have to get by that red, bright red car, the Ferrari of M. Doran. Riding on board now with Simon 118. I haven't heard much from him during this race. We haven't checked in on him too much. I just kind of want to see what the gap is to those cars ahead, and he can see them. But he's definitely not in range for DRS, and I'm not so sure that he is cutting into their time by much at all either. But as I say that, it has went from 2.9 to 2.5. So Zyman 118 might have more than I'm even giving him credit for here today. But just behind him is the Williams of Luke K. He's in the 4th position, just half a second behind. Scopefielder, of course, behind them, 2.3 seconds behind. While these two drivers duke it out here in just a moment, Zyman is going to have a bumper full of Luke K, and I know he's got a mirror full now. If he doesn't know he's there, he will soon. Riding on board now with Scopefielder while we watch that battle just ahead of him. Scopefielder trying to eat away at the gap he has between those two cars, but he's not really eating away at it that much. Last time I checked, it was 2.3. Now it's only 2.2 seconds. Now back up to 2.3 is the gap. So Scopefielder on the medium tires, that might not be the best strategy for him, but nonetheless, it was something that I feel he had to try. Meanwhile, Luke, who just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings from the stewards, undoubtedly for corner cutting, is still trying to chase down Zyman 118. Got a little too happy with it and cut a corner, apparently, thus attracting the attention of the stewards. But that is so easy to do, especially here in Australia. Meanwhile, Ozone Never Miss has retired from the session. That is going to be a DNF. We have 3 DNFs of Ozone Never Miss, TB, and CPI Alex. So 8 drivers remain on the course and on the lead lap. Luke going a little bit wide. I think he might have just barely kissed those gravels. Now there is a virtual safety car, not sure for what, but I'm assuming for whatever reason Ozone Never Miss had to retire, that is what the virtual safety car is for. So now all drivers, they must slow down. They must maintain the virtual safety car pace, or else be faced with a drive-through penalty. Excuse me, chat. I got just a little bit choked up there. Had to go have a coughing fit, but I'm completely fine now and still watching this race. M. Doran 09 still in the lead, followed by Sam. Zyman 118 in 3rd. Luke K in 4th. 2.2 seconds now just separating that Red Bull and Williams. Luke K going to try everything he can and then some +1 to get by that Red Bull of Zyman. And look for it to happen very shortly. Side by side for a moment, but wasn't going to make it work. Going into those really fast S's. He thought better of it, and that really would not have been the best place to make a pass. Now he has the DRS that allowed him to get close to Zyman, but not able to make a move just yet. We are approaching the very long front straightaway here with another DRS zone coming up. That might be Luke's chance, but he gets a little bit loose, goes a bit wide there. He hangs on to it. A very good car control from Luke right there in the Williams. Now going down the front straightaway, and he has the DRS. He's going to have to use the slipstream as well, but Zyman's trying to duck to the inside to try to prevent that. Zyman 118, he just barely clipped the grass there, but he got away very cleanly. Nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, Luke, he can get close. He can get there if he wanted to. He could probably reach out and touch the light on the rear. He could touch the rear wing, but he cannot get by him. Luke struggling very hard to gain position here on lap 16 of the Invictus Racing League's F1 Equal League Australian Grand Prix. That is always a mouthful to say, and I'm just waiting for the day that I completely stutter and fumble on it. Going to these fast S's now, yet again. Luke using up every bit of curb and then some, just as much as he's allowed to use. He has DRS now, but not able to make a move yet again. Same story, and Luke goes wide into the grass, and that's losing time. Each and every time Luke goes wide, he's losing a little bit more time. He's trying to use up every inch of the curb that is possible, and to be fair, more or less, that's how you get a fast lap. But if you go over that edge just a little bit, get into the gravel, get into the grass, then it becomes an issue. And while these two drivers have been duking it out, behind them, you see this really bright yellow car. Who is that? That is Scopebuilder in the 5th position. He has, in fact, eaten away at that 2.2 second gap that was a few laps ago, down to just 0.6. And he is ready for these drivers to make a mistake. He's ready to capitalize on any wrong move that they make. And if they do, he will get by them. Meanwhile, of course, Luke K, the same goes for him towards Zyman 118. If Zyman 118 even thinking about making a mistake, Luke is there and he is going to go for it. Using the slipstream, he's getting really close to him, but still, yet again, cannot find a hole, cannot find a gap to go for it. We're just going to keep riding on board with Luke. He's in the DRS zone right now. He might have been able to pull off the pass if he'd been able to carry a bit more speed on the inside, but I fear that had he done that, it would have resulted in the same incident that we saw between Zyman 118 and V-Sketch earlier on in this race, where V-Sketch tried to go low into that corner, trying to get by him, and just didn't work and ran out of room. There was contact, and V-Sketch went around. So Luke definitely trying to avoid that here, but he's also trying to avoid Scopebuilder, who is still decreasing that gap ever so slightly. White Fountain now setting the fastest time of the session. White Fountain is running in the 6th position, 4.4 seconds behind Scopebuilder. M. Doran still in the lead, followed by Sam. And of course, Zyman 118 still up there in the 3rd position. Here momentarily, we might have to join back at the battle for the lead, as it looks like Sam is starting to gain on him when I'm looking at the times toward the left. But for now, we're going to keep an eye on this 2.5, 3-car battle, however you want to look at it, between Zyman 118, Luke, and Scopebuilder. No driver is really close enough to make a move just yet, but all of them are trying, while meanwhile Zyman, he's just a sitting duck. He's just up there with 2 drivers breathing down his neck, knowing that if he makes a mistake, he's done for. Gonna take a look at the battle for the lead now, as Sam is really, really close to the Ferrari of M. Doran, right on the back bumper of him. M. Doran goes a little bit wide coming out of that corner. Meanwhile, Sam has a very smooth exit. They are now side by side and wheel to wheel going into turn 1. Sam has cleared M. Doran. Sam, your pole sitter, now your leader of the Australian Grand Prix with just 11 laps to go. riding on board with M. Doran. And meanwhile, Luke and Zyman are now duking it out. Luke finally was able to get by Zyman. So Luke K gonna try to go chase down first and second. He has 11 laps to do it, but I'm not sure if he's close enough to even have a shot at it. But that's not going to stop him from trying. But first, he has to get away from the Red Bull of Zyman and the Renault of Scope Builder. Staying quiet and letting this battle play out. Looks like Zyman was trying to get a little bit close to Luke there, but not able to do it just yet. Meanwhile, Sam up there in first, still pulling away just a little bit from the Ferrari of M. Doran. It's a half a second gap now. Luke K, Zyman side by side. Zyman doing a crossover, gonna try to get by Luke K. Will he clear him? Not cleared him yet. They are still side by side, duking it out here. And Luke will retain the position for now. He will retain the third position. Zyman 118 having to settle for fourth, at least for the moment. Riding on board with Scope Builder, he has a really good view of this battle here. The only battle going on track, save for what might very soon be a battle for the lead. Going to keep my eye on the times to the left of my screen here. Checking back in for the battle for the lead because M. Doran, he suddenly dropped just a little bit. I almost wonder if maybe he got off the track just a little. Obviously not losing a whole lot of time. Each and every time going into the corners, M. Doran locks it up. It's almost like he needs to turn down his brake pressure just a little bit. Maybe even the sensitivity settings on his pedal if he uses a wheel. I'm not sure. But if he uses a wheel, he might even have to turn down the sensitivity settings on his brake pedal if the brake pressure doesn't work. I know I've had my fair share of issues with it. From Scope Builder's point of view, Zyman 118 is still in fourth. Luke K still in the third position, and it doesn't look like Zyman's able to get the speed he needs to challenge for that either. Now it looks like White Fountain and Scope Builder are having a battle here. I didn't even realize White Fountain was as close as he was to Scope Builder. So those medium tires not working out for Scope Builder at all. The hard tires definitely seem to be prevailing here today. So Scope Builder all the way down to the 6th position now. Scope started in 3rd, but apparently medium tires just was not the way to go, and that honestly surprises me. I would have assumed that the medium tires would have gave you more of an advantage than the hards. Even though they wear a little quicker, I would have thought that Scope would have been faster than that on the mediums. But V-Sketch back there in 9th, he also took the mediums, but disregard that, I apologize. He took them 5 laps ago. Apparently there was some sort of issue that caused him to pit yet again. So disregard that. Meanwhile, up front, lap 23 of 29 here. Sam is still in the lead, followed closely by M. Doran. M. Doran cannot get there, but he is keeping Sam in his sights, and he's keeping him under pressure, keeping him on his toes. M. Doran has the DRS, and he's trying to get the slipstream from the McLaren. Not able to do anything going into turn 1. It looked like Sam even got a little bit wide, got into the grass there at the exit. Or at the entrance, I'm sorry. But no harm, no foul. A big lockup from M. Doran, and then a big lockup from Sam that's going to allow M. Doran to get next to him. They are now side by side, but M. Doran has to back out. M. Doran gets on the curb, and he slows down, scrubs off some speed. He is now back to the 2nd position. He had a taste of it. He had a taste of it first, but he had to give it back. And this has been just an absolutely dominating performance from Sam. He got the pole. He stayed on the lead during the start. He had a decent start. And he just kept the lead for the majority of this race. M. Doran has been the only driver that I have seen that's able to get by him on track without pit stops. Obviously, when Sam had to make his pit stop, drivers naturally passed him on the track while he was in the pits. But during the race, as they're running now, same speed, give or take, M. Doran is the only driver I've seen that is able to pass him today. And it looks like he's going to try to do it again. But you saw it there, just could not quite make the move. And now it looks like Zyman has had to go into the pits. Not sure what's going on there, but he's went into the pits and fitted the soft tire. So that gives White Fountain the 4th position. He is now chasing down Luke in the Williams. Scope Builder, meanwhile, 1.1 seconds behind White Fountain. It's lap 25 of 29, so it is 5 laps to go here. We're going to keep you locked on the battle for the lead, so long as nothing develops in the pack. Because the laps are winding down, and we're just not sure who's going to come out on top. Both of these drivers, more or less, seem to have very good cars. And they seem to more or less have the same pace. Sam might be a little bit faster than M. Doran, but any mistake from Sam is going to allow M. Doran to capitalize on it. And we've seen it time and time again. Anytime Sam would lock up, as he did a couple laps ago, M. Doran was able to get to his right side. M. Doran, though, he also locks it up going into the corners quite a bit. I'm always looking at those front tires. I'm always seeing lockups. That just shows you how hard he's driving this race. The gap has now increased to about 0.6 to 0.7 seconds between Sam and M. Doran. M. Doran now starting to lose a little bit of speed, it looks like. He has 1 lap older tires than Sam, so that really should not be a huge difference, but fresher tires are fresher tires. Sam, meanwhile, he is just trying to hang on for the next 4 laps. He just has to stay on course. He just has to hang on, make no mistakes, and he has a win coming for him, and he very much is wanting that to happen. It's like I can almost feel his anxiety. He just wants to see the checkered flag. He wishes it was the last lap. A lock up there from Sam and a lock up from M. Doran both. That allows M. Doran to get a little bit closer. But Sam ultimately pulls the way. Sam has much better corner exit than M. Doran does. Meanwhile, Zyman 118 running the fastest lap of the session with a 124 point. I believe that was a 3. Big lockup from M. Doran again that time. You saw it. He's probably locking up at about 70 or 80% of the corners that he's in. There was another lockup right there in the right front. You always see that puff of smoke. Coming down the front straightaway, it is going to be 2 to go this time, as Schofielder has now gotten by Luke. Not sure what happened to Luke. Where is he right now? It looks like he might have gotten off the track. He might have spun. Not sure what's going on. In fact, he did. There is some wing damage there, so he's going to have to pit for a brand new wing. Likely going to fit the soft tires. So Schofielder now in the 4th position. White Fountain in 3rd, but he is 6 seconds behind the battle for the lead here, which is between M. Doran and Sam. So White Fountain virtually out of contention for this lead, barring a catastrophic event for these two drivers, as Zyman 118 has set a 122.830. Fastest lap of the session yet again for Zyman 118. He is running in the 5th position, 17.796 seconds behind Schofielder. So he is not at all close enough to take advantage of those fresher tires. He's simply trying to get fast laps. My apologies, I had to partake in another one of my coughing fits, but now it is white flag in the air and 1 to go for Sam and the McLaren up front, but he is under an enormous amount of pressure from the Ferrari of M. Doran. M. Doran trying very, very hard to get this position to get this win. He wants this win and he wants it bad. He wants it yesterday. He is trying to get it. He's trying to get it very, very hard. He is just absolutely driving a stellar race here today. So is Sam. So is all of these drivers. Sam has put on an absolute dominant performance. The only driver able to challenge him here today has been that red Ferrari. And that red Ferrari of M. Doran trying very, very hard to challenge him to the very end and trying to capitalize on any mistake that the McLaren makes. And if Sam makes the tiniest mistake, this race might be M. Doran's. But it is now a 1 second gap. M. Doran locked it up too much going into that corner. Not sure what's going to happen now. Barring any catastrophic event, it looks like Sam is cruising to a win here today. Rounding the final two corners is the McLaren of Sam and the Ferrari of M. Doran around the final right-hander. M. Doran tried, but it's not going to be enough. Across the line is the McLaren of Sam, and he will win the Australian Grand Prix, followed closely by M. Doran in second. White Fountain crossing the line now, going to try to get third, and he will. Scopefielder going to get fourth. Zyman 118 in the Red Bull. He is now passing the pits around the final corner and down the front straightaway. Simon will wind up in the 5th position. Luke K in the Williams. He's under an enormous amount of pressure from FPL Charlie, but I don't think it's going to be enough time. Down the straightaway, Luke K looks like he's going to get 6th position, barring any time penalties. Luke K got a 5-second time penalty. He had an unserved penalty, and FPL Charlie 122.427, the fastest lap of the race. FPL Charlie in the 6th position. That just leaves B-Sketch HD on course to have to complete this race. He is rounding the left-hander and the right-hander past the pits, going down the straightaway. He will wind up in the 8th position. We had 3 DNFs of Ozone Never Miss, TB, and CPI Alex today. So that is the final running order. That's the final position that was up for grabs. And what a stellar race here today. Good job to each and every driver who came out to race with us. Thank you to each and every driver who came out to race with us here tonight. Tough break for Ozone Never Miss, for CPI Alex, and for TB, but unfortunately, these things happen. But better luck next week, guys. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Just take this and move on. It's been a rough race, but it's now all in the past. It has not been a rough race, though, for that driver right there, Sam in the McLaren. He wins the Australian Grand Prix in dominant fashion. And there's your final running order. Sam in 1st, M. Doran in 2nd, White Fountain in 3rd, Scopefielder in the 4th position, Zyman 118 in 5th, FPL Charlie in 6th, Luke is in 7th, 8th is V-Sketch HD, 9th is Ozone Never Miss, 10th is TB, and CPI Alex in the 11th position. We will have interviews for any drivers who want to partake in interviews, for the top 3, of course. So I will invite the drivers here. I have White Fountain invited. He's the only driver on my friends list at the moment. Going to try to add Sam and M. Doran as well. Apparently I cannot use any voice chat with White Fountain. I just got that notification, so not sure what's going on there. I'm going to try to get M. Doran and Sam in the session, but does not look like it's going to work. So interviews may not happen here today. All right, all drivers have left the session. I do believe the session has been disconnected, so we unfortunately will not be able to do driver interviews for tonight. But congratulations to Sam, congratulations to M. Doran, congratulations to the podium finishers, and thank you for each and every driver who came out and raced with us here in Australia. Until next time, until next week, I'm Tim. And enjoy your day, enjoy your night, enjoy your evening, enjoy your tomorrow, and enjoy your week. And as Malk would say, stay classy.